Welcome to the new season of the Football Fill-In. The new Premier League campaign is bang underway, and we are going to fill you right in on anything that you need to know. Okay, to start the show, we've got a lovely giveaway for you guys. I've got a signed pair of my brand new gloves, actually. All you've got to do to win these little bad boys is get yourself over to the Football Fill-In Facebook page. The link in the description down below. Go click it. Make sure you comment on a post, follow. You know what to do. Somebody's going to win those bad boys. Right, boys, how are we? Okay?
Good, yeah, ready to go.
How'd you enjoy the weekend?
Fantastic. Great that the Premier League's up and running.
It's nice, isn't it? How much have you missed it?
Loads. Loads. And I thought that there were some good games, and I think it's really interesting apart from City.
Same old, basically.
Yeah, you just got to take them out of it, haven't you, really?
Right, we'll talk about them in a minute. We're going to start with, though, the big game on Sunday, Chelsea-Liverpool, and that's not disrespecting Brentford-Tottenham, because that was a decent game, actually. But we've got to go for the Chelsea-Liverpool game. I'm going to start with you, Watto. Give me what you thought of the game.
Yeah, I was really surprised, actually. It were quite an open game. I weren't expecting the kind of ping-pong how the game panned out, to be honest with you. Both teams really went for it. I think Liverpool would probably be a little bit more disappointed. I thought they were a little bit unlucky with Salah's effort, obviously offside goal and what have you. I thought they had the momentum and could have won the game. But if you go the other way, I think what I said last week on the show, I think Pochettino's got some magic in him, and obviously they've got great players, but I think he's a great manager, and I think he'll get something from him.
Passion. Did you see him, like, when they scored the goals and he gives it that? Did your phone just ping them, by the way?
No.
Whose was it?
Not mine.
Not mine.
I like it. Somebody's pinged it. It weren't mine, honestly. Somebody's. It's Tom's. That's unbelievable. We're like 3 minutes. We're 3 minutes into new football film. Anyway, you've got a little interesting theory, haven't you, about a certain midfielder that would improve both of those teams?
Yeah, there's been a lot of chat, obviously, throughout the window, I think, really, that Caicedo were going to leave Brighton. It looked as though he were set for Liverpool. And then, obviously, it looks like Chelsea are trying to hijack the deal, which is fair play, because I think you watched the game today, and as I described earlier, the game's ping-pong, ping-pong, ping-pong. I think if you've got a holding midfield player that frees five in front of him, then I think he could stabilise them a little bit better, and it would probably have made one of them two teams a little bit more solid today.
If you were Caicedo, Mark, who would you rather go to, Liverpool or Chelsea?
I'd go to Liverpool, having watched the game. I think that when the team, I think something ridiculous like this is the fifth draw in a row or something that these played.
438 minutes when the first goal went in between these two teams before a goal was scored.
Well, that's really interesting because when I saw the team news came out, I was like, there's definitely going to be goals. You look at that midfield of Liverpool with McAllister, Szoboszlai and Gakpo.
He looked good. I liked him.
But there was no defensive cover there. So you knew they were going to go on the front foot. And then Chelsea sort of had to come out of themselves because Liverpool scored first. I think Chelsea need a midfielder, but Caicedo, Liverpool haven't got one. So if I was Caicedo, and I think Klopp's a better coach than Poch, I'd be like, I'm going straight into that team. I'm going to be the Casemiro of that team, and I'm going to play every week. And they haven't got anybody else. Yeah. So I just think I'm really surprised. I mean, I think he changes his mind a lot, doesn't he? Because But, I think Liverpool would be the better club for him.
Do you know what I think it is? Honestly, I think it's the fact of living in London as opposed to living in Liverpool. I bet you.
I think we've had this debate time and time again, haven't we? The London lifestyle is going to be much more of a draw without being disrespectful to Manchester.
Exactly that. It's not like Liverpool. It's not Manchester. It's living up north as opposed to living down in London. That also, though, speaks a little bit about what his mentality is like. If that's what draws him, do you know what I mean? Because money's not going to be a factor here. Both teams are going to pay him an absolute shed load of money here. But it's a little bit worrying if a player is going to choose it just for the bright lights of London.
Well, it's really weird as well, isn't it? Because Liverpool have offered more money. Chelsea haven't offered the money as far as we know yet. Probably they might have done by now. But the reality is, it's he's still going for Chelsea. He'll be a really good player for Chelsea. I just think Liverpool's would be the better move personally, because Chelsea have got Enzo. They want Lavia as well. He'll be really good for Chelsea, but I just think Liverpool are crying out for him.
I think Liverpool need him. Especially because Van Dijk and Konate look like they were getting exposed, obviously. But Robertson and Trent, they're like flyers, aren't they? If you don't have that control in there, I think they might be looking at another centre-half, especially if they don't get the midfield player.
What do you think of Sanchez in goal for Chelsea? Was that a surprise for you? Was that a surprise that he was starting?
Not really. But like all the talk this week is obviously, unfortunately, Courtois has got a bad one at Real Madrid, so it looks like Arrizabalaga is going to be off there. So as soon as that talk started earlier in the week, unfortunately, with Courtois getting injured in training, I think it were a no-brainer that he's going to be in. What kind of money they're going to try and hope to recoup in terms of the world record fee?
Yeah, 70-odd mil.
I'm not quite sure they're going to get half of that back, but it'd be interesting to see.
I think the main compliment I could pay to Sanchez is I completely forgot he was making his debut, and then until he made that mistake in the second half with the pass to McAllister, if you don't notice a goalkeeper, he was obviously doing a good job, wasn't he? And I thought Alisson was brilliant. I mean, he made some big saves as well. So no, I think Sanchez settled in quite nicely. You didn't notice him. Really,
well, he was certainly aggressive on the start positions, but Alisson's so quick in the off the line.
Brilliant,
honestly, anybody gets a sniff being through on goal, they don't see the goal, do they? They just see his shirt.
It was a shame in the game because at the end when Mudryk ran through, I was like, oh, he's going to score, and they didn't show a replay, so I didn't see what happened. I imagine Alisson's position really made it difficult for him.
It's exactly what happened.
He's on him straight away,
His position was fantastic. He drove him out wide. He didn't sell himself or anything. He stayed up as long as he possibly could. By the time he's pushed out wide, it
action's finished.
He tried to cut it back, got cleared out. It's as simple as that. I love it, Alisson. Yeah, I was a little bit surprised. I thought he might play Kepa for the first game or 2 or 3, but no, he's just gone, no, Sanchez, you're my goalie, clean. Same as like Fabianski and Areola for West Ham at the weekend. A little bit surprised about that. It's the life as a goalkeeper, though.
Where are we putting these two? Do we think, I know it's only game 1, but I was actually quite impressed, and I actually said I think they're back in the sense that last season was terrible. I think they're back in the race for top 4, both of them. I'm not putting them in it, but like from where they were last year,
no, sure.
I think next 2 weeks very important in the transfer window, but I think they both look a lot better.
I went Chelsea as my dark horse to get in the top 4, didn't I? So.
I like Chelsea more than Liverpool. I didn't like Liverpool. I thought Chelsea were okay. I still think they might struggle to get top 4. Liverpool are just still not happy with their front three. I'm not happy with Darwin. I'm not happy with Gakpo. I'm not having it. Nunes came on and he had that one where he had that touch and he could have, if he took a good touch and he got the shot off, it's a goal-scoring opportunity.
I think McAllister will be disappointed in his passing to him. For the quality of him.
I still think if that's Mane or Firmino, I think that gets controlled and then dispatched.
Yeah, but it wasn't a perfect pass, but it was a terrible first touch.
Yeah, true that. All right, let's move it on then. The other, we're going to go Spurs. The other Sunday game, Spurs 2, Brentford 2. This was a good game, wasn't it? We enjoyed this one.
Yeah, look, Maddison's a player that I'm not that hot on, and I was like I don't know about him, but he had a really good game. The player that stood out for me, Bissouma.
Yeah.
I mean, at Brighton, he was so good. Yeah. Last year, he fell off a cliff. People talk about Caicedo. Yeah. He is the cliche. Yeah. He's like a new signing based on that. And I think that, you buy all these players, but Spurs have basically got a player that they didn't use. And I thought Bissouma... I mean, Maddison was good. Spurs were... we might talk about Richarlison, but... I thought Spurs looked a lot better, and I think Harry Kane going is the right time. He's got them the money. Yeah. That team needs to rebuild. It's going to be a tough season, but, stick with this manager and rebuild.
Well, did Maddison fill the number 10 shirt?
Do you know what? Do you know what he is?
Didn't he?
Yeah. Do you know what he is, though? Do you know what he is? He's a bit like James Ward-Prowse for Southampton, yeah? He will get for Spurs this season 12, 13, 15 assists. I guarantee it.
They look to threat.
Mate, the ball in for the first goal for Romero, right, is undefendable. Yeah. If you're a goalkeeper, right, and he's whipping that ball in there, he whips it so fast, right, with the inside of his foot. I don't think there's many...
You're not seeing it,
There's not many people in world football that can whip a ball that fast with the inside of your foot, right? And he whips it that fast, and I was thinking, oh, gosh, as a goalie, you can't do anything here. It's on top of you.
You just hope they miss it. They have to miss it.
And you can't come for it. So you have to just hope it doesn't go direct into your goal and try and make the save there. It was unbelievable. So I think he is a great signing for Spurs. I think he would do really, really well.
That's a good point for Spurs at Brentford. I predicted Brentford would win. They're so good at home, and I think Spurs, they might be like, oh, it's a draw, but in context of the last 2 seasons, especially on opening day, that's a really good point.
And you can see that they're trying to evolve in the style of play and everything else. And obviously, all the talk's always been about Kane. And yes, you're going to miss them goals. The amount of goals he's scored. Is he going to come back in 2, 3, 4 years' time and sign for Tottenham or sign for whoever and manage to get that next 47? If he comes back, he's going to break the record, isn't he? It's how long he sustains it away from there. But I think if you're a Spurs fan, you're going to be quite optimistic today because you'd have thought Brentford could easily roll you over today.
Yeah.
And I think from an outsider as well, and Spurs fans obviously take precedence, but as an outsider, when I think of Spurs, they're always an entertainment. And I think the last few years with Conte and Mourinho, boring.
Yeah.
And then Spurs are probably never going to win anything, but you flick it on Match of the Day and you go, they're going to play, you know, and I think that'll be good for them. What I do say about the goals, though, I've been talking about this all weekend, and it might be enlightening to both of you. Why are we obsessed with Alan Shearer's goal record? Because the Premier League is just a rebrand of Division 1.
I read this tweet.
Yeah, it's
I read
ridiculous.
this tweet. I'm with you, mate. I agree.
Man United have won the title 20 times because they won Division 1s. Yeah. Have Liverpool only won the league once?
Football didn't start with the Premier League, you know.
And this Shearer loves it. He's like, yeah, give me all the adulation. Jimmy Greaves is the top goal scorer of all time. He's got 100 more goals than Alan Shearer.
Well, Kane's not catching him.
No, he's not. So Kane is probably right to go to Bayern because the Premier League goal record is a bloody myth. It's like the Premier League Hall of Fame.
Can we
you're getting that?
The what? Sorry, the Premier League Hall of Fame. For most saves. I got most saves. Most goals conceded as well.
Could get in there.
Well, you're in then.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I'll get in for something at least. Can we have a little conversation about Kane then, all right? I know it's all been said and all been spoke about, but I just want to talk about... I still can't get my head around the fact, right, that he could have easily signed another 4 or 5 year contract at Tottenham, right, on 400 grand a week, 350 grand a week, yeah? Crazy money.
I don't know whether Spurs could afford that.
No, he could have done. I bet you. I bet you he could have done. Even if it's 300, yeah? He could have signed another 4 or 5 year deal. He's guaranteed to break the Premier League scoring record, which you're not happy with, but either way. He's already settled down in London, yeah? He's just bought a brand new house, apparently somewhere near the Wentworth Golf Club. His family are there. He's got new babies on the way, all that kind of stuff. Why then would you go
How many wives has he got?
Did I say wives?
He said babies. He's got new babies on the way.
I think, baby on the way. Either way.
He scores a lot of goals.
I'm just trying to think, if you put yourself in that situation, right, why would you want the upheaval? Why would you want to do that? You know what I mean?
Status, trophies.
I think we've mentioned it loads of times. He cannot do any more at that football club. I think he's been in 19 years. He done from a baby all the way through. He's a man of 30 years of age now, England captain, Tottenham superstar for sure, but won nothing. And I think he's took a step back and thought, new manager, new team. I need a new challenge now, and I want to be fair to these guys. Let's not have a season of are you, aren't you, are you, aren't you. I'm going to get out of the way. Could he have arguably gone to a bigger club, as in Spain, potentially, a Real Madrid, a Barcelona? I don't think he's ever going to Man United, because Levy wouldn't have it. So it was the perfect solution. They get 100 million quid and he picks his team abroad. But I don't think the Spanish had the money for him. No. And I think he'll do unbelievable stuff. I liked Tuchel when he was Chelsea manager. I think he'll do good things there. Tottenham are not in the Champions League. He wants to be challenging himself. Look, he's gonna win his first thing. They're going to win the Bundesliga, aren't they? For sure. But can Bayern Munich go and win the Champions League? That's the challenge he's setting himself.
I watched Bayern last year against City. I thought they were the better team over both legs. Their centre-back and a lack of striker.
Stinker, didn't they?
Kim Min-jae's been bought and Harry Kane's been bought. They're doing the right thing. But a Spurs fan said this to me the other day, and it's spot on, that I said, if I was Harry Kane, I'll wait a year. I'll go anywhere I want. Premier League, probably Man United, Chelsea, whatever. I earn a shitload more money because I'm free. That's what I'd do. And then a Spurs fan said to me, but at the end of the day, whether he's done it for the right reasons or not, you've got to hope that he's gone, if I do that, I'm shitting on Spurs. I'll go to Bayern. They'll get 100 million. Maybe he's done a really selfless thing, because if he did wait a year and went, I mean, you probably ruin your Spurs legacy, don't you?
I like these little opinions being put forward, because I don't think I know he wants to win stuff, yeah? But I don't think at the end of his career he's going to go, oh, buzzing, I won 2 Bundesligas, I won this. Because I don't think that's got to be... I think it has to be something else. There has to be something else.
He'll come back, though, won't he? He will come back.
In 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, he'll come back. He's only 30 this year.
Yeah.
I think you'll find out as part of the deal, it's already probably done.
A little buyback clause.
2, 3 years.
I hope so.
It's probably already done. But I'm a bit like you, I agree. I think because it's been his team... and he's got the affiliation and everything with it, he didn't want to walk away next summer and Tottenham get nothing, because the rebuild's going to be tough enough without any money.
And quite toxic this next season.
Yeah, for sure.
If he just keeps playing and not signing a contract.
And it's so disruptive to the manager, the rest of the staff, the players, because it doesn't matter whether win 3, lose 3, it'll be as Harry signed this week.
Yeah,
the whole thing would have just been farcical.
OK, we're going to talk about Newcastle Villa in a minute, just quickly. The Harry Kane stats for his Premier League with Tottenham: 435 appearances, 280 goals, 3 golden boots and 7 player of the month. I think a Premier League without Harry Kane is a poorer place to be. I really, really do.
You're going to miss him.
I am going to miss him. He was always in my fantasy Premier League, guaranteed. Him and Erling Haaland would have been a strike force to reckon with this year. He'd have been in my player of the season at the end of the year, up top with Erling Haaland as well.
But the one thing I would leave it on, 30 goals in 30 games in a 38 games
in that
Spurs team. That's a bigger achievement than Haaland. I know Haaland was amazing and he is amazing, but I can't get my hat on that. 30 goals in 38.
Well, is Richarlison going to compete with that? He might get 8.
Oh, gosh. Right, Newcastle, Villa. Watto, you can take this one away for me.
Yeah.
You're from the Midlands, you know Villa, you know what they're expecting this season.
Yeah.
And this was, for me personally, a massive shock.
Massive shock for an Emery team who are as drilled as what I've come to see since he took over from Gerrard. Amazing first day of the season. Certainly Mings coming off after 30 minutes with what potentially could be a bad injury didn't help. But they played a crazy, crazy high line. And Newcastle are so quick on transition. I mean, they blew them away.
They might be one of the best counter-attacking teams I have seen in a long time. You know?
But it's so naive, isn't it? I mean, I remember United went there sort of April, March time last year, and we were off it. And they're on it. And, I mean, I so many people were writing Newcastle off and saying Villa are going to have a good season. I was like, I don't care. Villa might have a better season than Newcastle, but Newcastle at home...
St James.
First game.
Nah, you're just having a laugh.
Incredible. But, crazy tactics, if you like, from what we, or I believe, is a real top manager. For whatever reason, he wanted them to be playing offside at the halfway line.
Did you see the Tyrone Mings injury?
Yeah.
It looks a bad one.
Yeah.
It looks a bad one.
They've had a few of those at the start of the season. They had one
Yeah.
with the other guy, didn't they? That other centre-back they bought last year. Was it Costa?
Yeah, Konza got done his Achilles the first home match last year.
Yeah.
Bundia got injured. I don't know how bad, but he had a bad one in the week in training, so he weren't involved. But really, they looked well short on the day. It were like Newcastle had already played 3 games because they were that much
into the swing.
And you saw them in pre-season and said they're on it.
I saw Villa in pre-season and they were the team that looked like they were on it. They were the ones that looked sharp and like they'd played loads of games already. And I can't believe they turned up to St James's Park and played that.
Martinez made save after save.
I know he did,
It was incredible. But if you think about the Newcastle team, like they've had some real astute signings, haven't they?
Yeah.
Like Tonali. Sorry. Oh my God.
Lovely, Eddie.
What a footballer. Yeah. What a footballer. And ultimately, they're paying a lot of money for these guys. What were he, 50 million?
Yeah.
But he's a Rolls Royce. He's probably
a
already double
starter.
your money.
He's a guaranteed starter. If Man United buy a player for 50 million quid, you're not sure whether he's starting every week, are you?
That's the difference.
He's a guaranteed starter, and that's why you pay the money for it.
I love the contrast of what Eddie Howe does as well, because we speak about people like Harvey Barnes, who obviously got a goal and assist when he came on, and I wasn't big on that, and loads of people were saying, no, it's just a typical Eddie Howe signing. I expect Newcastle to buy Tonali's and these big names, but Harvey Barnes... But that's typical of Dan Burn and Trippier. It's what he does. But that midfield, I mean, I also like the way they do that, but then they go and get Tonali and everyone else goes...
ones around
people go, oh, I wouldn't mind that. What did you think about Martinez? Do you think a yellow was fair?
Do you know what? I think this might be something that might need to be looked at for the rule book a little bit. Do you
think it was quite similar to Pope getting sent off last year?
Yeah, it's very similar to that. But
it's the same, actually.
I know the reason why he got a yellow is because he's not the last man. There's a defender back there, But once he gets past Martinez there, right, it's an almost guaranteed goal. Yeah. And the punishment is only a yellow card, basically. It's a free kick and a yellow card in a position where it's not going to threaten the goal. No. So I think this is something that might need to be looked at a little bit. I was buzzing it's a yellow card. I won't lie to you. And even I know Emi Martinez was as well, because he was smiling afterwards.
No, he's thinking red.
Oh, for sure he is.
Because the modern goalie plays so high now.
Yeah.
The only saving grace is that the goalies play so high. There's normally a covering defender, but obviously he's out wide on the side of the field. But you're dicing with death there.
He's buzzing, like I say, he's laughing his head off afterwards because I think they're going to look at this and some sort of rule change might come in there. I hope it doesn't.
If it's a goal scoring opportunity, it should be a red, shouldn't
it? Newcastle, where they're going to finish this season realistically? I'm going to put it out there, top 3. I'm going to say top 3, maybe even second.
Champions League's the problem.
I didn't have them in just because of the Champions League. I thought when they start in that competition, the Geordie fans he's not going to be able to change the team too much, and I think that might affect them. But you know what momentum's like in football. If they can keep doing what they're doing, they might become an unstoppable force, because certainly playing at home with them fans behind them it'll be an extra guy, but I think the Champions League might just be a step too far.
So, give me a position.
I'll say 5th.
I think I put him in at 5th, but that'll probably get him in the Champions League.
Okay, I just think if they can sign another 2 or 3 Harvey Barnes sort of signings, squad players, team players, yeah? Not
Doing another
necessarily
midfielder.
Yeah, not going to play every
Scott
week.
McTominay.
Not going to play every week, but if you've got a Harvey Barnes, Scott McTominay.
It'd be
Well,
good for them.
if they are gonna try and get in the Champions League again by finishing in the top 4, they have to have a good second 11.
Exactly, yeah,
That's
exactly.
going to be able to rotate.
Yeah.
Harry Maguire, Scott McTominay.
Just stop trying to flog Man United. Just
They
stop
would
trying
be
to
good
raise-
for them.
Nobody's going to buy them
They
off
would
you.
be good. They would be good.
Just trying to raise funds. Right, we've got a new segment for you. Watto, take it away.
Yes, this is it. New for this year, guys. A little run-off between Mark and Ben. A one-hit wonder every show. I'm refereeing.
Yeah.
So
So you've got the question.
I've got the question,
Yeah.
and my ears are tuned in.
All right, cool.
One question.
It's one question,
Mini
one
quiz.
question only.
One
I
question
reckon,
only.
Honestly, I think that we need to expand this and make like 2 or 3 of these. We've still got the quiz at the end, by the way, everybody. We've still got the world famous football filling quiz at the end. It's just that now and then we're just going to throw random little questions in. We're going to have a little tally going throughout the whole season between me and Mark, and we'll see who's got
Another way for you to try and win something.
Let's just see who's got the big brain.
It's just
yeah?
to give Ben another chance.
Yeah. He's looking. He can see that.
He
can see
cannot
that.
see this. My question, picked out by my own hand
Liar.
from Jamie's. No, Jamie's given me the option of the question,
All right.
and I've gone with what I think will be a challenger. Are we ready?
Yeah.
Which player appears twice in the top 10 most expensive Englishmen of all time?
That's a very good question.
Ooh, of all time. So we're not just living in the Premier League era now. Alan Shearer can't be there.
You can't say names if you say
I was talking about
names.
his
Let
goals.
the referee, Ben.
I was talking about his goal scoring record. That's what I was talking about.
Well, get control of the quiz then, would you?
All-time English player, 2 top 10 transfers. There we go. I'm going to go with...
Fastest finger first, lads.
It's a slow finger. It's
Yeah,
a slow
but
burner
this is
today.
a tough question. This-
Slow burner.
Don't be scared to calm down.
Yeah, that's
I'm going to go
exactly.
James Milner.
No.
James Milner.
What? What?
Wait, who bought James Milner for a lot of money?
Ben, think about the question.
I'm going to count you down
Give me
from
the question.
10.
Give me the question. Give me the question.
See, you don't know the bloody question.
Which player appears twice
Yeah.
in the top 10 most expensive Englishmen of all time?
James Milner's never been bought for big money.
Yes, he has.
No, he has not.
Man City. Is culmination. Man City must have paid a bit of money.
No, they'd have paid about
All right, it's a
7
bad
mil.
guess.
It's
It's
a
a bad
really
guess.
bad guess.
Yeah, but
You'll have more than one guess.
No,
no,
he's not.
one answer.
I've got
will
loads
go
of
in.
guesses.
I'm going to go Michael Owen.
No.
No,
How's about Raheem Sterling?
correct.
It's a shame. You could have got that first time. Well done. It's a shame. That.
But what a question, eh?
very
Good
good
quizmaster,
question.
Anna. Good quizmaster.
You said James Milner.
What did you say?
Michael Owen.
He's never tried. Where's he gone?
Real Madrid.
No, English.
Newcastle.
I suppose you can count that.
Yeah. Anyway, let's move on, guys.
I was
It's
gonna say
time.
David
It's
Platt.
time. Look, it's time. It's a fail. It's a fail. Good quiz. Good question.
It's
It's
a
a fail.
good question. It's
We
a
need
good
to move on. Arsenal Forest.
Arsenal Forest, boom.
So what do you think?
I didn't watch this game because we were actually on the coach to our game because it was the early kickoff on Saturday. Don't get me wrong, I've watched that.
Well,
highlight,
actually,
right?
not really an early kickoff. Took them half an hour to get fans in, didn't
Yeah,
it?
it did. Yeah, I know they did. Yeah, a load of people outside still, weren't they? By all accounts, I had a friend actually who went to the game, and he said, you know what? For the first half, they were incredible. They were popping it around. They were flying. They were looking like a brand new energy. He said even Kai Havertz was looking good. He said he was looking good, right? He said second half. He said it's like they've just decided to sit back. He said it was like Arsenal of old. They decided to sit back. Notts Forest, it looked like that if they nicked a goal, they could go on and get an equaliser. Thankfully, they didn't get the equaliser, but they got the goal that they wanted. So he left a little bit sort of like, yeah, good win, but meh.
I was going to ask you guys about this actually, because in the Chelsea-Liverpool game, you saw Salah coming off after 70 minutes, Reece James coming off after 70 minutes, and I said that won't happen in October. You wouldn't do that. No. That's because it's the. And I think Arsenal were a bit like that in that game.
Yeah.
They're 2-0 up. They know they've won the game, and I don't think they drop off like that in October.
They're trying to coast.
And you know, Forest weren't in the game, and then that Alanga gets it on the left-hand side.
Oh, pace on that.
And just nitro
Yeah.
and a brilliant cross, and then Arsenal were a little bit like, but I never felt Forest were going to equalise.
But we spoke about it last week. the managing of the players and why they're changing all these making the changes, because they've all been all the way around the planet.
America.
So if you would have had a pre-season closer to home, they would have gone to Europe, had a week, 10 days, 2 weeks, couple of games, come home and had your games. They would have been more up to speed and they'd have had more minutes in them. I think they're not quite up to speed. And obviously they think that the game's dead at 2-0, for sure. Yeah. And they played really, really well. Interesting for me watching the game back, as in Partey playing right back and trying to replicate Kyle Walker at City in going into that midfield position. I'm not quite sure they've got that bob on at the minute, but it's an interesting tactic. Obviously, Arteta looking at Guardiola and how City operate. It were always, I thought, going to be a comfortable win. I think the streets ahead of Forest, but when you don't kill it...
Forest will be really happy with that. It's a good result. You know when you lose...
It gives them momentum to go into what is a massive game coming up for them on the Friday night.
I think that they were good in the first half. Saka's goal was just...
fantastic.
Predictably brilliant. He's on that left foot. And I didn't like the balance of the midfield of Arsenal. I thought Declan Rice had a really understated, good game.
Yeah.
Odegaard's obviously very, very good. But I wonder what he's going to do. You're right, Watto. They pulled Partey in because you're playing Forest and their left winger was doubling up on Saka, so you don't need a right back, so he tucks in. But if you're going to play United in a couple of weeks or you're going to play Spurs, Partey can't tuck in because he can't leave Rashford, he can't leave Son. And I don't like the defensive cover of Rice, Odegaard and Havertz. I think they need Partey in there with Rice, and Havertz needs to come out. But it's 3 points, isn't it?
Yeah, you've got to start with a win.
I think when the first games of the season, right? I think it's a good chance. Like, I think for Arsenal that was a dream first fixture, by the way, because if they're going to start to try and practice a bit of a new formation, new tactics, new style of playing football. Pre-season friendlies, you can't replicate it, because in pre-season friendlies the pressure isn't on, all right? You haven't got that sort of, people aren't at you, are they? They're not really, really at you. Whereas the first game of the season, you know that they're going to be. So if they can get over the line by playing a new tactics, Thomas Partey at right back, everybody, even on the coach on the way to Wrexham, are looking at going, what on earth is Thomas Partey doing there at right back? That's just bonkers, right? But they got over the line, so I think that is all that matters to Arsenal. And I think Mikel Arteta will be absolutely buzzing to have got over the line as well.
It's interesting they've spent £200 million, and I think Nketiah has scored 14 goals in his last 16 games at the Emirates or something like that. But he ain't the level.
No.
He ain't the level. No. And I'm looking at that and I'm going, well, Jesus is injured, and he does get injured. And I watched that game at the Emirates where they played Man City, and Nketiah had 3 big chances. He misses them all, they lose the game. They spent all that money, and I do just think might have been better off just getting a prolific scorer.
No, they need a big boy. I
still
think they always do.
In the 3 weeks that's left, even though Nketiah has scored 14 in his last 16 games at home, they need the proven...
A big boy. Even Gabby Jesus, and I love him to bits. I think he's a fantastic footballer. But the reason why, the reason why he was at Man City and didn't play so often is because he's not prolific.
No, he's
and
not,
there's a reason that Man City sell him, for example, because they know exactly what he is, and he gets injured as well. So you can't rely on him to be there all the time. They do. They need a big boy. If they have a big boy, they're a threat this season, guaranteed. Quick shout out to Awoniyi for Forest, by the way. That's 5 Premier League games in a row he scored. You know, it's not a bad record that. Right, Brighton, Luton. I think we all predicted a Brighton win for this one.
The only disappointment was the Luton goal. It sort of ruined my clean sheet.
Who'd you have? Estupiñán?
Yeah. He did all right, though.
Yeah, everybody had him, by the way. Yeah. Would you have, he was at Watford when I signed about 4 years ago. He was at Watford. He went on loan to some like Spanish team, went out on loan the next season, got sold for like 15 mil to this Spanish team, and then Brighton had bought him from there. He was a decent player as well. Everybody loved him at our place, by the way. God knows why we didn't play him.
I had Estupiñán, Mitoma, and then the Pedro guy.
Yeah, Joao. He was at Watford as well.
Was he?
Yeah.
He likes scoring against Luton.
Brighton look good, though, don't they? Brighton, I think, will carry on where they left off last season.
I think for Luton going there, like, on paper, they think, Brighton, it gives us a chance. Brighton are on a different...
That's a horrible first game of the season.
They're on a different footballing planet, and obviously 2 late goals for them. But, I mean, Brighton could have had God knows how many. But we all know it's going to be a long, tough season for Luton, but they're a little bit too open, I think.
Yeah, well, I think with Luton, it's all I'd say to Luton fans is I think you're going to get relegated. But look at what Forest did. Yeah. There are 19 games at home which is 57 points.
Yeah.
If you can get anywhere near 30 and a couple of away wins, you probably stay up.
It's true.
But Brighton Pedro scored that penalty. Good player to get on your FPL.
Yeah.
And they've now scored 7 out of 7 penalties. in the Premier
Joao
League.
Pedro, right, I'm going to give you a little bit of a lowdown of what Joao Pedro is as a striker, okay? He is very fast, very technical. He's got that Brazilian flair, and he's also got that Brazilian sort of bite as well. He's got a little dirty in him. He really has got this little dirty where he don't mind getting involved, getting stuck in, sort of leaving his boot in there a little bit. I think he'll do well for them this season. I think it's a clever signing.
They've got good options. I like Danny Welbeck, good, honest striker.
Exactly.
You've got this Pedro guy, you've got the young Ferguson as well.
Yeah, Joao Pedro is only young as well, you know. I think Joao's only 21, 22.
They've got some good options. I would suppose the question is, where will Brighton finish? I think Luton will finish bottom. Sorry. Brighton.
I think they're going to... I think it's top 10. It will be 8th.
Oh, better than that.
8th.
Top.
I'm going to go 7th.
Yeah, we're
But
around there.
what do you think in terms of no Caicedo? Do you think it's going to have any bearing on their season?
Do you know what it does? Well, no Caicedo, first and foremost, silence is deafening. The silence is deafening. Nothing coming out of the club about what's happening about him. If he's not in the matchday squad on a Saturday, he's going somewhere, yeah? He is signing for another team. Either he said, I'm not playing in the game because if I get injured, I won't be able to get my move. Or the club have gone, this is 110 million quid, this.
I think there's a bit of both
This
there.
is 110 million quid, this. If he gets injured, that moves off, you know what I mean? That's a lot of money, that is.
Is he worth that, is he?
No, but he's
nowhere
not.
near.
But it's hard to get the true reflection because I think Luton are obviously below the level.
Yeah.
And Brighton are still got to get the balance with him missing and who you play and where you play and that. So it's a strange one in terms of trying to pick where they are going to finish. But I just think the footballing philosophy will keep going and keep going.
I wouldn't even worry about losing Caicedo. I wouldn't, because I guarantee you they've got somebody already in there to fill
James
that space.
Milner.
They'll have James.
Record signing.
They've got a record Premier League signing, you know,
that's why I
most
said
money
it.
spent ever.
Yeah.
My God.
How much did they pay for him? Free?
Yeah,
Free.
it'd have been peanuts. It was
I
back
was
in the
thinking
day.
about when he went from Villa to Man City.
Man City, that was when they were like first starting out and stuff. Right.
You didn't get it right anyway.
Let's talk about Man City, the Friday night game. By the way, Friday night, first game of the season.
That was crap.
It was not a great game, but the last team you want to be coming up against when you're a newly promoted team is Man City. So 3-0, honestly, 3-0 is not a bad result.
No, but I would actually counter that. I'm thinking you want one of the big boys first day of the season because of what we've just said. They're going to make changes. All right, Man City's bench is worth more than your team, but they've been all around the globe.
They've lost some big players.
Yeah, you might just catch them.
Yeah, it's a good
But
shout.
you didn't, obviously.
No, it's a good shout,
But
though. It's a really good
I
shout,
didn't
yeah.
mind one of the big ones first up. I didn't want them 3 or 4 games in because then they're up to speed and they're rolling.
groove.
Yeah, and I think you have got a chance. It doesn't seem as though Man City have got too many weaknesses. But, hey, look, I think 3-0, they'll walk away and take it. You know what I mean?
I think also Erling Haaland, the 2 finishes, would just... doesn't matter whether you're Burnley or Barcelona, it was just... The second goal was brilliant. The first goal was brilliant.
So listen, that second goal was a great finish, right? It goes in off the crossbar, which always makes it look better, yeah? But the first goal, right, yeah? People probably won't notice this or recognise it or see it for what it is, right? But when they're about to whip that cross back, right, he is already smelling that ball, yeah?
He knows
he can smell
what
a goal,
Rodri's gonna win
right?
at the back
So he
post.
starts to make his move. You watch his feet, right? As soon as the ball's about to get, he gets quick step and gets just in front of the defender, right? And I was speaking to one of our centre-backs, Ben Tozer, about it, and I said, Toze, like, is there any way that you can defend that? Possibly. Is there any possible way you can defend it? He said, honestly, the only way you can is if you are guessing. If you try and guess that he's going to make that move. He said, obviously, you don't want your player getting in front of you, but when he's that quick, he says, you can't react in time. So you have to almost either be touching him or just guess that he's going to go there. He says, otherwise, it's undefendable. He's too quick.
He is.
But he's quick here.
He's too quick. And the finish as well, to sort his feet out, to get the shot off as well.
I think he's, without question, I mean, I know Lewandowski's still about, but I think at the moment he is the best penalty box striker
Without
in
doubt.
the league. And I was talking about this at the weekend on one of my shows, and someone said, no, he's more than that. And I was like, do you realise how big the penalty box is? Like, it's a big area to master.
my
If you're the
gosh.
best penalty box striker in the world,
You're doing well.
You're the best striker in the
We're
world.
talking
aren't you?
about elite athletes, yeah? So even the defenders for Burnley are elite athletes. They are rapid. Nobody is slow in the Premier League anymore now, yeah? Nobody.
And Company, their manager, has played at the top level as a centre-half. And he's obviously not worked with Haaland, but he knows what he's all about. They will have worked on that. Like, you know, go and attach yourself onto him. That would have been... we spoke
Get
about
touch
it before.
tight.
Get
Try
touch
and
tight.
get
Just
touch tight.
don't let him get on the move across you.
No.
But this in his brain, and then the pace and the physicality he's got, it's virtually impossible.
Oh, it's impossible. I've got a couple unbelievable Erling Haaland stats for you, lads. He has got the best touch-to-goal ratio in the Premier League. Every 22 touches Erling Haaland takes, one of them is a goal. Every 22 touches, one of them is a goal. And that brace that he scored on Friday night is the 10th time that he scored 2 or more goals in a Premier League match. And he's played 37 Premier League matches so far in his whole career.
The scary thing about City is, and we can't moan, is because you can't say City are going to win the league easy and then moan when they beat everybody easily. But what they've lost, Mahrez, Gundogan, and somebody else probably gone. De Bruyne looks like he's going to be out for a while, and it won't even touch the sides.
No, it won't. It won't affect them.
They've got... Kovacic looks like he's been there for years already. Yeah. Vardiel, Stones was out the other day.
Vardiel's 21 years old, you know.
Yeah, and he's very good.
He's 21 years old.
They're just proper footballers, aren't they?
It's ridiculous.
They're drilled and they just play that way, and everybody knows how they're going to play. But to stop it, that's a different...
I wish Kyle Walker had gone. I know he's all about pace, but he's massive for them. They're just...
Rolls-Royce in his...
I don't know why you would get rid of Kyle Walker. When I saw him getting linked to Sheffield United and to Bayern Munich, I'm thinking, no, I'm not selling him to anybody. No. Nobody can have him.
We just spoke. I think Guardiola is an unbelievable football coach, but he's a clever football manager. He's not going to let Jules leave when he can win or want to win the Premier League and the Champions League, all with it again. He is the best in his position in the league, bar none.
My concern with City this year is that actually no one will push them close like Arsenal, that it might be the year that they just have it done by Christmas.
Absolutely batter it.
Because they just look so... you got your Fodens, Grealish didn't even start, Bernardo Silva's still there, Aki, Akanji, Vardiel, Stones, Diaz, it's just... Yeah, they're just...
The list goes on.
Did you see that naughty stat that some Sky researcher put on about the current Man City defenders and how much Man City has spent on them? It was like 350 million or something like that of the current defenders. And then it put Burnley's total transfer spending for the whole of their lifetime is like 200 million or something.
But that's football, isn't it? And look, I thought Burnley did quite well. And I think if Burnley had Erling Haaland up front, it might not have been 3-0, it might have been 3-2 because they got into good positions. But... you know, that's life. There's a team that's got a load of money and there's Burnley. And
well, Burnley are not getting judged on playing Man City, though.
Do you reckon Burnley are going to get relegated?
No, I think they'll do well.
Do you? Do you think they'll be good? I like that. Nice and positive, lads. That makes a change. And Man City, top 4?
Yeah, go on, I'll put them in the top 4.
You know what? They might win it.
Hot take. You're going to give us a hot take on that one,
yeah. Might win it.
All right, let's go for a little bit of Monday night predictions. So we're filming this. It's Monday morning, by the way, everybody. We are going to be watching the Manchester United Wolves match tonight. Is that Wolves, by the way, or at Man U?
Man United.
Man United.
So it's at Old Trafford. Have a little talk about this, please. Mark, what are you expecting from the team? What do you think the result might be?
I think it's very similar to the Arsenal game. I think it should be a very comfortable home win. Obviously, I think there'll be a lot of subs at 70 minutes again because United have been all over the world as well, to America. But Wolves, Gary O'Neill, I mean, Lopetegui did a really good job there. Pre-season all around him and then he walks away. That's damaging. They've lost a lot of players. I mean, I think if United are bad and Wolves defend well, maybe they nick a point. But I'm thinking 3-4-0. Man United should be, and that's what Man United need to do. And it's a good start. We've got Spurs next Saturday, so yeah, Old Trafford as well. I'd be stunned if United don't win that, and that's the sort of game they've got to be winning 3 or 4-0. I think.
Yeah, I agree. I think Wolves as hierarchical management of the whole...
Hierarchical, did you say then? That's incredible.
It was poor, really, but the way that they've done and they've run the club to let what I believe were a really good manager, top manager, and for him to end up walking away...
He's right.
Sure. They've not backed him. No. They've really said... Your hands are tied. What we're going to do this year? Yeah, and if I were a Wolves fan, I'd be really disappointed. But to get so that Gary O'Neill has 1 week to prepare for Man United or a Premier League season, that's what we're talking about. He'll not be judged on the game at Man United for sure. I think he were really unlucky to lose his job at Bournemouth. So I think he's potentially an up-and-coming manager for sure. Yeah. But to be thrown in again at the deep end in Wolves' situation, I think will be tough for him. If he could get anything out of this game, I think it'd be an incredible result. I only see a Man United win. I'm not sure at the minute Man United will go on and roll teams 3 or 4. But I think, just like we said with Arsenal, I think they have to win the game. I think it's one of the best fixtures they could have hoped for now. Monday night at home, they've seen everybody else get started. are we going to hit the ground running? For Man United signing Haaland and not being fit, because that would have been a good game for him to start with as well. You want your new signing, your new striker. You want him to get a couple of goals. Because if he gets off the mark,
cooking. It's exactly what you need. So give me a score prediction, quick.
I think they'll win 2-0.
I think United are going to win. Don't get me wrong, but I think if Wolves do score early somehow, and Gary Neal is pretty decent at sort of, going, all right, lads, let's chill. Could make it for an interesting game at least, all right?
Need a goal in the first half hour.
But I think it could be a 3-0 here. And Rashford's in my dream team, so I could do with him scoring a few goals as well.
Me too.
Right, so we've got a new segment for you as well. Another new segment, may as well. Round the World, lads. It's called the Round the World segment. We had a hot take from Rhino Legs Tom next to me this morning, and he has said that he is adamant that Jude Bellingham is going to win the Ballon d'Or within the next 3 years. And we even had a £20 bet on it as well. Watched his debut Saturday night against Atletico, and he looks unbelievable. He looks the real deal.
Well, the one thing you'd say is watching the debut, he looks, for a guy who's 20 years of age...
Oh, my gosh.
He looks as though he's played for Real Madrid all his life. Yeah. I mean, to go on that stage and play for that team and put that shirt on and do what he did...
No fear.
No fear. He's a Rolls Royce. Let's be having it. I think ultimately there is some phenomenal players in world football at the minute, so it's a bold statement to think he could win the Ballon d'Or. Yeah. But let's have it right. At 20 years of age, he's got time on his side and looking so comfortable at that point. Yeah. There's a chance he can do it for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, he's got a great head on his shoulders. I mean, 103 million euros. How are people paying 110 for Caicedo? It doesn't make any bloody sense, Premier League. But I think he's... I said it when he was at Birmingham, 16 years of age, playing 30 games in the centre midfield in the Championship. There's something not right there, is there?
There's a reason why they retire his shirt.
Yeah.
No, for sure. But if you think at 20 years of age, he's played 177 professional games already.
Yeah, it's not bad, that, is it?
177. He's been phenomenal everywhere he's been.
England, when he's with England as well, he's the main man.
But 177 games at 20, we're not talking about playing in the Conference and Conference South where we've loaned you out to try and get a little bit of a feel whether you're going to be a footballer or you can come back and play Championship football. All this is at the pinnacle and the top of the tree, you know what I mean?
Okay,
it's
so
phenomenal.
Are we agreeing with Tommy or not? Because I kind of laughed at him.
Well, it's, the game's changing, isn't it? I mean, a lot of candidates are pissing off to Saudi Arabia to earn big money, aren't they? So Mbappe's staying... I think he will win a Ballon d'Or, and I think he will deserve a Ballon d'Or. And logically, in the next 3 years, you've got the Euros for England, the World Cup. I'm going to go with Tom, yeah.
Love you, Mark.
Do you know what?
I think he's got potential to do it. It's whether it all comes together.
What else is going on?
Yeah, because if Haaland keeps scoring goals and Mbappe does whatever, he's a Rolls Royce in midfield, but he's got to then be a real creator. He's got to be scoring goals.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? He's got to have everything in his favour, where the other guys possibly don't need all that, you know what I mean?
De Bruyne putting it in the box.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, anyway, we've got the quiz in a minute. I think just probably to say that he's a lovely player, he's a lovely lad, and we're lucky to have him as an Englishman because we're proud of you, Jude. Well done, mate. Okay, time for the quiz. If you're wondering, by the way, what I'm wearing, this is the Earlswood Town FC away shirt. Fozcast sponsored it. We have for a couple of years now. I'm proud to say I'm a patron for the football club. I don't even really know what that means, to be honest with you, but we really like the club. I've been to watch them a couple of times. Local to me, local to you, local to us all, actually. So big shout out to Earlswood Town FC. Keep smashing it, guys. And don't forget, by the way, at the end, if you want to click that link down below, get yourself over to the Football Filling Facebook page, and you might be able to win yourself a pair of goalie gloves. Simple as that. Jamie, quiz time. You ready?
We are ready.
Lego.
Fastest finger first. Question number one.
First one of the season, lads.
Yeah.
There was one last week.
No, that didn't count. This is official.
That were a pre-season friendly.
Yeah, I told you, people don't really put it in these friendlies.
Yeah, no, we didn't put it in. We didn't put it in.
Me.
By
a long way.
Yeah. Right, let's go. First one of the season, lads. All the best, yeah?
Thanks, mate.
Ready. Question number one. There has been 3 Dutch Premier League Golden Boot winners. Robin van Persie. No, Robin van Persie, Van Nistelrooy, and who was the other?
Bergkamp.
No.
Set this down. Settle down.
There has...
It's always him.
There has been...
You always jump the gun and get in early.
There's been 3 Dutch Premier League Golden Boot winners.
Yeah.
Robin Van Persie,
Yeah.
Van Nistelrooy,
Jimmy
and
Floyd,
who-
Hasselbank.
Correct.
Come on! We only had him on the podcast, didn't we? A couple
Well,
of
that's
weeks ago?
cheating then, isn't it?
We only had him on the podcast.
Cheating. Jamie,
My boy Jimmy.
Oh, sorry.
already we know that the Quizmaster's not as good.
I said wait for that question a few weeks.
Well, you know, it was a few
Oh
weeks.
my
It
God,
was a
man.
few
Right,
weeks.
here's a bonus question for you then. It's not a bonus question, but who did Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank leave Leeds to sign for?
Leave Leeds to sign
Don't care.
Oh my God.
Chelsea.
Chelsea. Yeah?
No, Atletico Madrid. He went to Atletico Madrid for a year and then signed for Chelsea.
I've never
You're-
rated him. It's just because he's been on your podcast.
You're getting
Maybe
inside
not,
information, mate. Inside information. Jamie, very poor question to start.
Question
I
two.
think that I might not be getting many answers, but I think there
never
might
do
be a
anyway.
new Quizmaster.
Right, question 2, Jay.
Question number 2. When Ronaldo left Manchester United in 2009-10 season, who took his shirt number?
I know it's one of two. Michael Owen.
Correct.
I was going to say Michael Owen.
Yeah, Michael Owen is the correct answer.
He's on it there.
Okay. 1-1-0.
Thanks, Jake.
Going to say Michael Owen.
Question number 3.
Say it then.
Who was who was the first Brazilian to score more than 50 goals in the Premier League?
Jesus.
No.
This is a bloody tough question, this one.
I think I know who it is now.
Who was the first Brazilian to score more than 50 goals in the Premier League?
What?
Yeah. Come on, countdown, Jamie. Do your
I'll
job.
do a countdown. 5, 4.
Firmino.
Correct.
Oh, that's a good shout.
I was going to say Oscar.
Come on.
Firmino has 82
That's a
goals.
good shout.
Oh, definitely not saying Richarlison.
Although he probably has got 50 now.
Yeah, Firmino has 82 goals, and Jesus is the only other Brazilian to have more than 50, and he has 69 goals.
Like it.
But Firmino got there first.
Must be close.
Well done, Jay. That's a better question, mate. Well done.
Question number 4. James Milner is the joint highest player to play in the most consecutive seasons in the Premier League, but who is the other player?
Ashley Young.
No.
Jordan Henderson.
No.
It's 1 or 2. Gareth Barry.
No.
So it's David James.
No.
Oh.
It is Ryan Giggs.
Oh, my
They
God.
have both played 22 consecutive seasons.
22.
So,
That's ridiculous.
yeah. it's
Kept
great.
fit. I'm not kept fit.
Blanked off United straight away.
Premier League, yes.
That would be top flight, wouldn't it?
Top.
Yeah. Ryan Giggs.
It's okay, it's okay.
Oh, it's
We
okay.
like top flight.
We
I'm
like
fed
top
up with this
flight.
Premier League shit.
Yeah.
Jimmy Greaves,
Just to read-
is
it's like-
he going to be in this
It's
goal?
like marathon to
that's good.
Snickers. It's the same fucking thing.
Same thing, all right. Hey, pot your mouth. Calm down.
Sorry. We can edit that.
Okay.
Just very passionate about it.
Question 5. What club did Tim Howard score against in
Stoke.
2012? No.
No, it weren't Stoke, was it?
Who was it?
Don't know.
Go on, carry on with the question.
Which
Is that it?
club? What club did Tim Howard, the goalkeeper, score against in 2012?
2012, so he was playing for Everton.
Yep.
So,
Oh, I got it. I know it.
2012.
I know it. Why did I jump the gun?
Well, because you're a muppet.
I've got absolutely no idea. So
I'm
just
trying
gonna
to think
say-
who the goalie
I'm
is.
going to say
I know the goalie was as well.
Sunderland.
No.
No idea.
I'll give you the answer to this in a minute.
I'll say Watford.
Nope.
No.
Adam Bogdan in goal.
Yes.
Bolton.
Correct.
I just remember seeing Adam Bogdan's little face just go, oh. It's a horrible
I
feeling.
can't remember that.
Yeah.
I
Windy.
can normally
Oh,
pick.
mate,
I
it
normally
was so
pick. I
windy.
remember Begovic getting done.
Yeah.
Sorry, not Begovic. The Southampton goal.
Yeah. Oh, what's his name? Polish guy.
Yeah.
Oh.
Isak.
No.
No.
Oh,
Boruc.
Boruc.
Artur
Yeah.
Boruc. I remember
Yeah.
him getting done. I remember you getting done.
There's a lot of questions about podcast guests and
Goalkeepers.
Yeah,
Sorry, yeah.
that's
Anyway,
Anyway,
question. Yeah,
Anyway,
question.
where's the Barnsley question?
Yeah.
there's no
Sorry,
such
what's that?
thing, is there?
Question
No
5.
such
Question
thing.
5.
Question 6.
Question 6.
I need to get on my A game here, Jay.
What club did Jolyon Lescott first ever join?
Wolves.
Correct.
3-1. He's on
Should be a forfeit for a donut.
I'm thinking about being the quizmaster.
I reckon we've had that question before as well. And you've got it before. Yeah.
Yeah. Surely not. Surely.
I just followed his career closely. That's it.
He
Another
joined-
guest, is he?
Should have got it then. said Mark.
Deja vu.
Yeah.
Should
had it before, we should have won better.
Should have got it.
He joined in 2000 and left in 2006, making
Everton.
212 appearances.
Yep, sign for Everton.
Okay,
Joe,
question
let's go.
number 7. In this game week, Haaland scored 2 goals in one game. But who is the only
Isaac.
other player?
There we go.
Isak. It is Isaac.
I'm so
Oh,
glad you got that. I'm glad you got that one.
Because somebody answers one and it's not you, it's a shite question.
You're off the mark, well done.
Thank you, mate.
Watto's been concentrating on the game week. It's good.
Yeah.
That's it, exactly, mate, exactly.
Question 8, we have a career path question. I have played for AC Milan, Dijon on loan,
Dijon.
Lille on loan, Monaco on loan, St Etienne 2, permanent, St Etienne, Dortmund, Arsenal, Barcelona, Chelsea, Marseille.
Aubameyang.
Correct.
That's a big one, that is, by the way. That's just seen me over the line.
You're reeling some names off there, mate. I'm getting lost in it.
Oh!
When you build it up, to
Okay.
the last.
Fair play.
Fair play, yeah, fair play.
Okay.
You had a good pre-season, didn't you?
Yeah.
You were ready for the first match.
Wait, you win already?
I've won already, mate.
We've got 2 more questions.
Go on, yeah.
Should we just let the losers
Sit.
battle this out?
Let's see who the numpty is.
Go on, crack on, lads.
Don't be
Question
giving it the big one.
number 9. Which goalkeeper won the Golden Glove 3 consecutive times between 2005
Petr Cech.
and 2008?
you go.
Czech is
He got
the
it.
incorrect answer.
What?
It is not Petr Cech.
It's been when?
5 and what?
2005 and 2008.
Oh, I know this.
3 consecutive seasons.
I know this.
Well, I know it now.
5.
Come on, Watto.
I know.
I would have still gone with that.
I thought Czech.
Because they were bloody
2005.
brilliant, weren't they? Mourinho.
It was a season, it was probably a little bit later, really, the one that he only let 15 or 18 goals.
That was 04-05.
Countdown, Watto. 5, 4, 3, 2.
Reina.
Are you sure he didn't
Van der
win
Sar.
Pepe Reina's the correct answer.
No!
Pepe
it? Are you
Reina.
sure he didn't win it in 05?
I just thought because of Benitez at Liverpool. Yeah.
Very good.
So he kept an overall of 57 clean sheets in the Premier League across those 3.
I was trying to think who were the Liverpool ones.
57 clean sheets in 3 years.
But
Yeah.
Benitez, wasn't it?
I never
There'd have
would've
been
got
that block in there.
Wow.
I should win it with that, shouldn't I?
I would have.
Bonus point.
Patrick.
Bonus ball there. Anyway, go on.
We've got the last question. Question number 10. When Arsenal won the Premier League in their invincible season, what was unique to their Premier League trophy they received?
Gold. Wrapped in a Yorkie wrapper.
Correct.
Didn't even know
Their
this.
Premier League trophy was gold for being unbeaten for the whole season. So
Biggest
it's unique.
scam in football, right? Because they drew 13 games.
Mate, there's so many flags around the Emirates saying that they're invincibles. You've just ruined a myth.
Have you got a bee in your bonnet about this?
Oh, they just go on about it. But no, look, in fairness, if we're talking about Arsenal, the 98 team won the double. It was better than the Invincibles. I've always said that. Wrap it in a Yorkie wrapper. It's the same bloody thing. It's like the Premier League. Jimmy Greaves.
So it's the same thing. So is a female moth a myth?
Yeah.
Oh, boys, how much have you missed this? I love you lot. Well done, lads.
Well done.
Jamie, brilliant questions today, mate.
Yeah.
I think they might have been your best ones yet, actually.
Thank
He's
you.
won for the first time.
I'll take the
Why are you
the
keeping
W.
your hand on mine,
Sorry,
then?
I'll
No,
take
took it off Watto.
I'll take the W for the very first game week. So it's 1 to me. You'll catch up though, lads. I'm sure. Never mind.
I will, definitely.
But thank you, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the show. We love doing this. Honestly, we've missed this so much. Don't forget about the gloves. Get yourself over to the Football Fill-In Facebook page. You can win them. And boys, I will see you all next week. Well done, mate. It's Football Fill-In.